Hi guys, and welcome to a new round of State of Survival. Today we talk about state migration, the new transfer passes we have in the Alliance shop. So first of all, the difference between state merges and state migration. State merges is defined that several states are merging into one state. So all players from the states go into one state, and this is permanent. This state migration is also permanent, but a single player choose a state. We will go now into the details of what will come up with this in all details from various games collected from the data. So we will go into full details. How can you do a state transfer or a state migration code? There will be an event, it's about 7 days long, where you can choose to go to a new state when you are unhappy in your existing state. The state transfer event or state migration event will be 7 days, and day 1 to 3 the governor set a battle power limit for players who can join this new state. On top of it, on day 4 and 5, the governor can invite players to join this state. On day 6 and 7, there is an open migration. Everyone who's within the limit of the set battle power limit of the governor can join this state. But you can't choose freely every state. There is a state scope range for each of the states, so you can't just go from state 1 to state 1000. That is not possible. The state ranges will be various. In the other games there was between 100 or 8 states that you can choose from, and these are around your existing states, so you won't be jumping several hundred states. That won't be possible. There is a limitation. In one game it was 50 for high active states, but in general I expect that the limitation to join a new state is 100 players who can join during the state migration event to a new state. And of course you need to fulfill the governor set battle power limits, and on top of it the governor can invite up to 3 players which are not related to the set limit of 100 players. That is about the event itself, but which requirements needs to be fulfilled by a player? The player needs to fulfill, of course, the requirements of the battle power of the governor, and he can't be above this limit. On top of it, the HQ level will be somewhere set. It was most likely at level 6, and above that can be migrated. But to be honest, below that they have the newly porter, so they can change states whenever they want. All marches needs to be in the settlement. You can't be in an alliance. You can't be the governor. The governor can't migrate. You need the amount of transfer passes which are required to change or to migrate to the new states. And the most important thing is, if you thought you can go nuts on state versus state and have a full enlistment and a full hospital, that won't work, because the 7th requirement is the most important requirement, I guess, beside the transfer passes. You need to have a clean enlistment and a clean hospital, and this is crucial. So you can't migrate to the new state with a full hospital and a full enlistment. That is not possible. That is a huge impact, so you need to get rid of some of your troops probably to make it cheaper for you. What happens during the migration and after it? So when you migrated to a new state, you have a cooldown of 90 days where you can't migrate to another state again. This is not possible at that time, so you have 90 days where you're set to your new state, and this is permanent. So when you migrate to a state, you can't change back. beside after the cooldown, of course, that's a no-brainer. But during the event, you will lose your rankings you actually have in any running event, as well as you will lose the honor and the still biocaps you have earned during the events you are actually running. So this will be lost. Every paid subscription within the game will be continued, so don't worry about it, and if that happens, contact the customer service and raise a ticket. There are two types of cost for the raid passes and two types of options how Kings Group has implemented it in other games. So the first one is, as most of you already saw in various discords, it's pure based on your battle power. And you see the examples. So the higher your battle power, the more raid passes you need, the more transfer passes you need, and the more expensive it will be to change to another state or to migrate to another state. And then there is another version where it is ranked based. The rank based means if you migrate to another state and you rank first based on battle power, that this will be as expensive as it can be. So this would be the highest cost. If you go to another state and migrate there, and you would end up in a lower ranked based on battle power, then you would be far cheaper in that case. So that are the two options which I saw in other games of Kings Group, and which might be an option to have the cost reduction on top of it. Because battle power is the most battle power you see is based on troops amount. So if you want to go on a cheap ride, the option is to delete your troops or to kill a lot of them during state versus state. But remember, the 7th requirement to do a migration is that you need a clean enlistment and a clean hospital. How you get on the transfer passes? The transfer passes are actually only available in the Alliance shop for 700,000 Alliance silver, and you can only collect one per week. So saying this, we all know this is Kings Group, and we know that in the other games there are also bundles. The bundles which I saw in the other games are so various that it doesn't make sense to tell you any estimated costs for the passes, but they won't be as expensive as all the other features we know from this game. So I guess that is in comparison pretty cheap, but still you have to pay for them. If you are a stronger player and want to migrate to a different state, this will be a costly event anyway. So saying this, now I'm coming to my personal opinion. What is the state migration option for? The state migration option for is mainly for players who are really unhappy in their state. And do not believe if you have had a merger that is the case where it might be a good chance to check for a state migration. If you are not in a merged state already, wait for mergers. They will come, because mergers means more competition for the players, but also more income for the company, because the competition leads to more buying bundles, and buying bundles means more revenue for the company. So mergers will continue, because state migration doesn't bring the same effect as a merge. The merge is really for a group of states coming together, having a high activity and having more competition. State migration in that case means you're totally unhappy in a state and know a state where the rules set and such fits to what you are looking for. And if you have this is the way to go for you. There is the state you want to go for, then you use the state migration option. That is what it is about state migration. Do not believe that is the holy grail for everything, because it isn't. State migration is only if you are unhappy in your state and you have already emerged behind you. I hope I could give you a brief introduction into state migration.